Hey guys, today I'd like to show you some Visual Studio extensions that I absolutely love and I think that you can get a lot of benefit from too. To add extensions to your machine, you simply go to Extensions, Manage Extensions, and by default yours may go to Installed first, or you simply need to click on Online to be able to bring new extensions down to your machine. So the first one we're going to click on is Maid. Now I do know that Visual Studio has new options for code cleanup, but I just simply like the way that Maid works much better. So let's bring that one down. The next extension we're going to use just makes it a lot easier to figure out what's going wrong when you have build errors. So this one is called VS Color Output 64. And what it does is when you do a build, down in your output window, errors will show up red, good things will show up green, and so forth. It just makes it a lot easier to pick the information out of your output window. So we're going to add that one, bring that down. And then the last one that we're going to search for is something that just makes it easier if you need to replace large blocks of code rather than just single words. And that is an extension called Multiline Search and Replace. That should find it. Yep, Multiline Search and Replace. So you can actually highlight big blocks of code and replace them with other codes, and you can use them with regular expressions. And it just makes it so much easier to change things when you need to affect, a lot of files that would be very tedious to do cut and paste all over the place. So we're going to download this. And then what happens is you'll see there's a message on here that says your changes will be scheduled, and they basically won't be installed until the next time that you restart Visual Studio. So all you need to do is just close this window, close Visual Studio. A little tiny Visual Studio installer will come up, install the extensions, and then the next time you start Visual Studio, they'll be there for you to use. Okay, so if we've restarted, and now we have our extensions installed, and let's just take a quick look at how you can configure them. So the first one, we go into Tools, Options, and we scroll down to VS Color Output 64. You can see we have just one section. There's a bunch of different things that you can use to report on, and you can change the colors for what kind of information that you get. So here you can see that errors are red, build messages are green, build text is gray, and so forth. So if I come over here and I do a build, when I open up my output window, you can see that I have green messages because everything is good. But if I were to add an error and do a build, you will see that now when I look at my output window, I have this bright red message that tells me exactly what the problem was. And if I had my mouse somewhere else, I can simply just double click that line and it takes me right to the error. The second extension was the one that allows us to replace multiple lines of code. So when you want to replace a big block of code, and you can see that under Edit, Find and Replace, Multiline Find and Replace. And that's going to bring up a new window. And I like to have my search and replace and multi-line search and replace over on the very right, along with the Solution Explorer. And I just don't have them tabbed so that I can just get access to them right here. So the other one is the regular find and replace in files. I will take that one and put it over here as well. So if I want to replace something simple, I use the regular find and replace. If I need to do a big block, then I have my multi-line search and replace available as well. So the last extension we're going to talk about is Maid. And you get to Maid a little differently. You go to Extensions, Maid, and then here are all the different things you can do with it. But since we want to change some settings, we're going to go to Options. Now, by default, Maid works really good just the way it is, but there's just a few personal preference things that I like to change. So the first one is you go into Insert, and I don't like it when it adds blank lines after multi-line fields or multi-line properties. And when you do an update, I do not like it when it adds the name to the end region. I only like to have the name on the first start of a region. So you simply click save, and then you can see if I come in here and I add a whole bunch of messed up code, spaces and tabs and things like that, that if I simply right click, pick code made, clean active document, everything goes back to perfect, just the way you'd like it. And what's nice about it is if you work in a team, then everybody can have code made installed and configured the same way. And therefore everybody's code gets cleaned exactly the same. And that helps enforce your standards. So give these 3 extensions a try. I'm sure you're going to love them as much as I do. And if there's an extension that you love and you use every day, drop it in the comments below so I can check it out and hopefully even make a video about it.